Francis Wambua Kavyo, Kinani Ward, Deputy Minority Leader. Karibu.
Jambo Bishop, my name is Brian Kisila from Mwala, representing the people of Mwala.
Yes, good evening, sir. I'm Judas Mbilindawa, MCA of Matu Ward and the leader of Minority Side, this county assembly. Karibu, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Welcome, Bishop. My name is Joseph Mutisia, the clerk of the assembly, and with me, I'm with the deputy clerk, legislative, Mr. Dennis. I'm also with Mr. Muthui in charge of legal, Mr. Musioka in charge of procedure, Mr. Dalmas in charge of research, Mr. Kelly in charge of registry. Then I have Susan Kiluva, clerk assistant, Alison Molonzi, clerk assistant. We have Lewis Moki, research. We have Nora Mwendwa, public communication. Then we have Jonathan Muli, Sanjana Terms. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Thank you, members, for that introduction. I now come to you, Bishop, and ask you to introduce yourself, by telling us your name, where you come from, and your experience insofar as it's related to the work that you've been given or you are going to get.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Thank you for inviting me to this honorable committee. Thank you, members, through the speaker. My name is Joel Nzomo. I was born in 1970 in Kathiani, Chuluni village. I went to Kathiani Primary School, and later on I went to Emilini Secondary School. After Emilini Secondary School, I went to the city. But before I went to the city, I want to say a little experience I got after Form 4, because I also believe that is why I believe in agriculture. And that is back in 1990 when I completed Form 4. I did fairly fantastic farming in those days, which could give me over 40,000 in a month, and I believe if other young people can employ the same, can be inspired to do the same, then this county can have enough. And that was without any experience or any skills. Later on, I joined Trans-Eastern College, where I pursued courses to do with aviation, and I also did French. I became a teacher of French part-time, and I went to work in airport. I worked for Train Winds. Later on, I worked for Eurocraft Air as a duty operation officer. Then later, 1997, God called me in the ministry, and I put that aside and began to preach. And later on, the year 2002, I began to train as a Christian leader, understanding the challenges which are affecting many Christian leaders in the country. I began to train on leadership, and then I went to train on theology, biblical studies. I did from different colleges, and I felt God was calling me to lead, not just to pastor. And that's why I concentrated so much on leadership studies. And back in 2004, when I joined the famous Maxwell training, which is a leadership training institute, I pursued other colleges. I wasn't doing these studies for the purposes of getting a job, because as a pastor, you train, the Bible says that study to show yourself approved, you are able to answer every question pertaining pay at any given time. But I also did dollar studies on the Bible to let members know that I've done over 1,000 books, Christian books, and did a lot of study on the Bible. And that led to the bishops of this country to elect me to organize their meetings. But I also pursued a bachelor's degree with Midwest University. I am also an ongoing student on master's, and that withstanding, back in 2017, God did spoke to me to start organizing and mobilizing the pastors in this country. And we have grown from a mere 30 people to 32,000 pastors and bishops. While I'm still a pastor, because of my leadership skills, most of the companies which come in the city of Nairobi then do approach me because I have high skills on interpersonal skills and networking skills and ability to mobilize the people together. And that is why companies like Bimanet Insurance, they could call me and come there. Companies like TH Markets, they called me and became part of the electors who brought that company in this country and grew that company from 0 to 4,000 members or investors. Currently, I'm working with World Course Vision Limited, which is based in Seychelles, with headquarters in New York. And we have grown also that company from 0 to today. The company is getting around $1 million funding. And my job in those companies has always been to coordinate, to network, to mobilize the people, and to bring the people together. When it comes to my Christian experience in ministry, I want to say God has given me the grace to be able in this country to lead the biggest alliance of pastors in Kenya, which brings together the mainstream churches, brings together the Pentecostals and the Charismatics together. I also happen to be appointed to represent Kenya Christians on the global platform. We call it the International Coalition of Clergies, where I represent this country. And this brings me to the other point of calling, that for me to put the issue of just being a local pastor to reaching out to leaders is because I understand that when you change the leader, you change their members, and when you change the members, you can have changed our community. And therefore, during campaign, we were highly involved because I'm one of the person who, when I write a message, it goes to all the churches in the country. So therefore, that is the brief about me. I'm born again. I'm a father of 5 children and husband of 1 wife. Thank you.
Thank you. There is this, I think it's a college you went to called Pastor Bible. Where is it? Midwest University in the US has 17 international affiliates, which they have given charters to administer their studies, because one of the things is 1998, when God called me in the ministry, I applied for admission at Roberts University, and then I wasn't given, I was admitted, but we could not raise $25,000. And therefore I asked the university whether they have programs for applicants,
and they referred me to Midwest University, which had other international affiliates, colleges. And that's when you can see from my certificate, a college called International College of Bible Theology, which is controlled by American missions teams. And therefore, that is the only college that can reach out to servants of God and the pastors from different places around the world. Thank you.
That's fine, thanks. All right, may we now, may I call upon the next member to say, put across the questions?
Thank you, Daktari. Daktari, if I may ask, we have this county plowing program whereby the county government of Machakos purchased some tractors to fly for free. Do you think the program is sustainable? And if yes, what measures do you think the county needs to do to enhance the program?
I began by saying, if after Form 4 I was able to get money as a young boy, I don't understand why farmers are not getting money today. And the last government bought around 50 tractors. 42 of them are stored and they are not working. I know that only around 8 of them are working. The program is good. It's good to have the tractors, and it's good to have tractors in every ward, helping the people to farm for free. And one of the things which, if I get the nomination, will do is to ensure that those tractors are repaired and there is a tractor in every ward, because this is Machakos, this is not Nairobi County. And in Machakos, we need to improve our agriculture. Thank you.
Thank you. Next member.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For those who have lived long enough in Machakos, I'm made to understand coffee industry was booming then. But we seem to have gotten into some challenges with coffee farming. What are the challenges and what do you want to do about them?
Through the chair, honorable member, I want to say, and I want to echo you, when I was in primary school, because we used to pay school fees, we could only go to the cooperative and we are given a letter and we take to school, and the school will accept as an invoice because they knew farmers will be paid. I totally think, I may not agree with every other person, but I totally believe that the cooperative movement is like it has collapsed. Those who are still there, cooperatives are facing bad management, and we have increased cartels in the country for coffee, and coffee has become a reserve for only a few people who don't even farm, but they control the prices. Still, farmers in this county getting fairly little money for 1 kilo, when 1 kilo of coffee is going for $10 in America. And therefore, you will ask why will a farmer in the village get 1 kilo at less than 100 bob for the last 20 years. And therefore, coffee has been affected for lack of good management. And I also want to say, entirely the entire farming in this county is affected for lack of funds. And there is something else which has affected farming, whether it is coffee and still other cash crops, is lack of inspirations. The farmers, their hearts, their spirits have despaired. When people farm and they can't get anything, then they don't see the need of farming. I still remember many days ago, it was an abomination to even cut a coffee tree. You could not cut, you could not even plant maize in the coffee farm. But later on, farmers never saw the need, and they just went on to cut the coffee trees. And therefore, we need to look wider The world has moved. We have let those cooperatives to be managed by some old men lacking ideas. We need to understand coffee globally. When you go to New York, the coffee they desire so much is the coffee that comes from Kenya. And if you can check further, you'll realize the coffee of Machakos County is feeling good. But even when you go to Nairobi to endowments and they use our coffee, one half a kilo of endowments is a lot of money. So what is happening to ourselves? We need to reduce the cartels, and the only way to reduce cartels is to link our cooperatives with us of their products. And I also believe